So I'd actually graduated from university, although I suspected I was dyslexic all the way through school and college and university. But it wasn't until I was doing a presentation as president of the Students' Union, and I was writing on the board, and somebody pointed out that their father specialises in dyslexia, like testing, and I've got all the signs and I should get myself tested, so I did, and I was. It's a good question because I think it's actually a double side. Obviously, I didn't perform in English, so it was one of the few subjects I didn't get C or above. But if I look back, and now that I know so intricately what the dyslexic brain is like, I think it helped with things like maths and science because it helps problem solving. You know, the dyslexic brain is very, very good at being analytical and problem solving. And mathematics, unless you learn how to do everything, in the test environment is often just about problem solving, you know, in the exam, which kind of helped, and I got good grades in it. Yeah, so the diagnosing of dyslexia was day one of Recite essentially, even though the company wasn't registered for years later. So the background was I was involved in, as president of the Student Union, the Disability Discrimination Act as a student movement. And I realised then that the emphasis from, you know, if you had a disability and it was your responsibility to, for example, get yourself into the restaurant, it was now the restaurant's responsibility to provide the ramp. So when I asked and inquired about, you know, the hidden disabilities like dyslexia, visual impairment, there didn't seem to be any sort of plan of shifting that responsibility on the organisations. It was still very much, you know, are you dyslexic? You know, here's some software that you can buy and put on your computer. So Recite was born out of that frustration and the need to adhere to disability discrimination legislation around the world. So we created a system of tools that allows websites to become more accessible to people with dyslexia and visual impairments, creating a much more inclusive experience. I think that the main thing that I think wish people knew more, dyslexics and non-dyslexics, is it's just different. It's not worse. You know, you automatically think if you've got dyslexia, you're just worse at things and you need help. The brain's built differently. It's a parallel processing unit, so it allows to kind of analyze a lot more different streams of information and make sense of them. So for example, kind of a CEO that's got to deal with a lot of things, what's happening with finance, what's happening with sales, what's happening with marketing, what's happening with programming. You know, all those sort of streams of information can sit very well in a dyslexic's brains. It also lends itself very well to working memory. So I remember a lot of conversations I've had much better than a lot of my peers, and it's very good for problem solving as well. So if I was to round that up, you know, the dyslexic brain's just different, and it actually comes with a lot of advantages as well. It's just following on from your last point actually, is to understand yourself, because you're born different. You're probably affected by the fact that you can't read as well, or maybe write as well as other people. But it also comes with massive advantages. And the only way you're going to kind of take advantage of the situation is just to learn yourself and to figure out, actually, you know, school never tested for analytical ability, or school never tested for work and memory, but I'm actually really good at it. And these are the sort of jobs that apply very well to my skill that wasn't measured at school. And just as a side note, there's a lot of recruitment consultants and recruitment companies that will help you identify your strengths and pass you to organisations that will, you know, that will kind of take you on because of a lot of these skills that weren't actually tested or graded at school.